gonna start out this video with a hot take. The new Lincoln Park stuff is really, really good. A lot of people will disagree with me. Where's this guy going? What? All right, that dude's in full camouflage with a blaze orange vest on, walking through somebody's front yard. So that either means he's killed a deer and he's trying to figure out where it went, or he just walks around him. What are we talking about? We're going fishing. That's what's happening today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm super excited, going on a little afternoon fishing mission to determine whether we need to go fish a kayak tournament tomorrow. Now, the thing about it is most likely probably will fish the kayak tournament regardless of what we find today, but today's little exploratory mission, more so over, is to not only determine whether we want to fish this kayak tournament or not, or whether I want to go to this lake to reward a dude who actually won a fishing trip with me in a raffle to raise money for pediatric cancer. So there's an organization called All Heart Gunner that I work with. It's a local organization. It's kind of like Punt, but it helps children with a specific type of brain cancer and their families that are affected by the cancer. It's really, honestly, the cancer is terrible, but this organization, All Heart Gunner, is really helping some of those families. And so a guy actually won a trip with me, and so I'm going today to determine whether I want to fish in a kayak tournament tomorrow on this lake, and if I want to fish this lake with this guy, and hopefully they're biting. That's what today's video is about. So yeah, we're gonna go pick up a crankbait, a blaze money badger, and we're gonna see if we can catch some fish. And so yeah, I'm glad you guys clicked on this video, and without further ado, let's send it. I was about to say, we'll take you over and get it. How about that? Got you, little dude. You all right?
I typically don't have him.
Yeah.
And
I'll get you on over.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Have fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road. So I got no electronics today because I forgot to plug the batteries in. That's my fault. Actually, I didn't forget to plug my batteries in. I forgot to turn my electronics battery off, and so we don't have any electronics today because I didn't turn my main. I've got a main power switch on my electronics. I didn't turn it off, but that's all right. The water is somewhere between 50 and 65 degrees, I'll tell you that much. I know that much for a fact. It is absolutely gorgeous and the perfect color for throwing a money badger and catching them on it. So yeah, we're gonna toss a money badger for a little while and see if we can get a bite on it. I don't know if it'll work, but you don't know until you try. And so that's what we're trying. I am so glad to have this bait back in my hand. It is definitely getting that time of year, and yeah, you guys know if you've been around the channel for any amount of time, that bad boy right there is it is the money badger, it is the money getter. It is just like, it's my favorite crankbait probably ever made. This thing is so freaking good. But yeah, let's get after it. There we go. All right. Not big, but it's a fish. All right, guys, not big. Let's check the length. That's the most important thing in this tournament. Let's see. 14 inches, so not big, but 14-incher on the crank. It's good. It's first bite. Let's keep going. Okay. So fish number 1 on the old Blaze Money Badger there. That's fun. That's the thing about this bite, is it gets better as it gets colder. This water is not super cold. I wish I had an exact gauge, but just putting my hand in it, and mind you, I do the cold plunge every morning. My cold plunge is around 52 to 55 depending on the day. Normally that thing gets a lot colder than the lakes do, a lot faster, but normally I can go about 10 degrees warmer, and that's where the lakes are normally at. So I would say this water's somewhere in the 60s-ish, low 60s probably. Probably high 50s in the morning, low 60s in the afternoon after it's had some time to warm up. But yeah, there's not very many leaves on the surface, which is good. It means we can crank this crankbait, and that's the first bite. So little 14-incher. That is definitely not a pattern. That's just a bite. But we're gonna keep going here and see if we can get one to eat this thing. That fish barely loaded up on it. He kind of just, I think, come up behind it and nipped it. So yeah, we gotta keep going. We gotta see what's gonna happen. We gotta just keep on chucking and winding, ladies and gentlemen. Plan is to keep the crankbait in my hand pretty much down this whole entire bank, and then maybe pick up a jig, Ned rig, small jeeker rig, something like that, and fish some other stuff just to see if they're wanting something a little bit slower, because they'll do that. They'll turn off and on. It's the craziest thing. Sometimes I want the crankbait, sometimes I want the jig. I just gotta show them a couple different things, but keep the crankbait in our hand. Let's determine whether this is a pattern or if that was just one fish. Little. All right. That's kind of one to get you hooked right here. All right, so a bluegill and a 12-incher. I tell you though, I don't know. Here's the problem with today. So obviously you're in the boat, right? And we're doing 2 missions. Seeing if we want to fish in the kayak tournament in a broken kayak, mind you, that I'm gonna have to like re-rig the motor a certain way to get it to work and do all that. And then whether we want to come here with the winner of that raffle. But I got to do 2 things. So I got to check a bunch of stuff today just to see how the fish are biting everywhere. But then I also have to check things that's within kayaking distance, because there's some of this stuff that technically is not within kayaking distance. I mean, obviously, if we've got the motor, that expands our range a lot. But it doesn't expand it to the point where some of the best banks for cranking are actually at. And so I've got to be kind of careful with that and not get like caught up in a, I don't know, like caught up in the fact of like, hey, they're biting this crankbait good, but it's on this specific bank that like you can't get to from a kayak very, very well. Because that's the thing, these fish can get very spot oriented, where it's like there's certain stretches of bank that fish phenomenally better than other stretches of bank, and just having the couple bites on this crankbait already tells me that there's probably some fish biting this thing somewhere that could be those better than average ones. But I also don't want to lean into that too much. But let's keep on keeping. That fish keeps. Well, come here. Not a keeper. Fun. Not a keeper. Oh. Well. Yeah. There's another one. There's a lot of fish right here on this little section of bank. One just came right up there eating. Interesting. This is all very interesting to me. Woo! Locked up on whatever that was. Got him. Come. There's another little one. That's a keeper. There's a 12-incher. All right. I mean, it's gonna. This lake, as tough as it can be, it's gonna. Oh my lord! They were literally just eating on the trolling motor. You know, as tough as this lake is, it's still gonna take probably 3. I would say a 20 and then like 2 15s. It just is what it is. I mean, you know. People always catch fish, and it's going to take probably a 20 and 2 15s. And I'm catching fish, obviously. I mean, this is fun, you know, being able to throw this crankbait and come out here and do this. But, we got a lot of bank to fish, though. I mean, that's kind of the best part about it, is that we've got this many bites kind of this quick. So, yeah, I'm digging it. I'm going to keep after it. Tarpon. Okay. 10C tarpon, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't know that? They've been stocking those things since the 80s. They don't get no much bigger than that. That's a tarpon, I swear. I swear it's a tarpon. No, it's actually a skipjack, but we call them 10C tarpon. He bit the piss out of that crankbait though. Good Lord have mercy. So we've got smallmouth, we've got skipjack, we've got bluegill. Now let's just see if we can get us a perch and a largemouth. There's not very many spots in here, so we probably won't be able to do a spot, but a largemouth and a perch, man, we'll have rounded out. And a stripe, we need a stripe, but we'll have the name Shik Shabang. Skip, yeah. I bet you, nope, that is, hey, there's our largemouth we needed. Heck yeah. There you go, that's a little bit better one. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay. Well, so there's that largemouth we needed that I was talking about. It's not very big though. Let's see. Wow. Not even as big as that smallmouth. I thought that was a little bit bigger. It's about a 13 3/4 there. So they're going to have to get bigger than that. And they're eating the crank, but they're going to have to get bigger than that. 13 3/4. Huh. And I don't know what to think. I mean, I know. And the thing is the wind going to blow? Like, I know it's going to be cloudy like this tomorrow, but this wind helps it as well. You know, this wind's blowing in this bank. There's another bank that I want to run down here and fish because it's gonna fish really well with the way the wind's blowing. But yeah, so what we got? We got a 14, a 12, and then a, well, no, it wasn't even a 12. So we've got a 14 and then a 13 3/4. But we've done that in, I mean, we started at 1, and so it's 1:44. We've done that in 44 minutes, which that's huge too, because I mean, if we can do this in 44 minutes, if we've got all day long to fish tomorrow, and we can get on a good bank with some size, and then 2, get on a bank, fish a bank, and then pull out middle of the day, you know, like get our limit, and then there's a couple of banks that I can fish that I can pull out and go fish them. I don't know. This is my thought process. This is how my brain starts running on this. And, you know, it makes me just think, can I come up here and can I do this? And so, yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section. What do you think I should do? Now, obviously, I've made a decision before this video comes out, but you guys let me know what you think I should do. Oh, that stopped it a little bit different. That stopped it a little bit different. That stopped it a little bit different. I saw him flash. I can't tell how big he was. Or, damn, man. It may have been a big skipjack though, because they will pile drive something. It's kind of crazy, honestly, when you catch like a freaking 20-inch skipjack. I mean, they'll eat it like a 5-pounder does. That stopped it though. That felt a little bit different. All right. So let's make a move real quick. I want to fish some of this on the way back. I want to go fish something that I'm going to be able to fish during the tournament. And so we're going to go down to a bank that I always do well on, that is able to be fished during the tournament, because there is a kayak ramp or a ramp at the back of a pocket where I can get out there to it. And it's not too far. So, yeah. There we go. Yep. This little bank, I'm telling you, every single time, there's always either big largemouth or big smallmouth here. That is not big, but it's a better one than what we've been catching. Let's see how long he goes. Probably 15. My word, little chublin, 13 3/4. Well, all right, so 13 3/4, 14, and another 13 3/4. Not bad. So this is funny. I don't know if this has any like truth to it, but this is definitely an anecdotal experience of mine that tells me that the crankbait bite is about to get really, really good. And that's when the water gets cold enough that the leaves sink. So like right now, you guys can still see there's a few leaves floating up here on top. There's still quite a few leaves on the trees. You know, like we've had a really kind of warm fall, and so a lot of the leaves have hung on the trees. And so we still got some leaves to fall. But whenever the leaves sink and like there are no leaves on top of the water, and there's a point at which the water temperature does that. It's like kind of somewhere in the mid 50s. And when the mid 50s hit and the leaves start sinking, this crankbait bite and just like the general crankbait bite across the board here in East Tennessee and really everywhere that I've ever been turns on. And yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, I guess it's just a water temperature thing, you know, like a little bio switch that gets hit and those fish are like, hey, it's time to start eating things that look like crawdads and move real fast. But yeah, I don't know. Little tip of mine, watch for the leaves. When the leaves sink, pick up the money badger, start cranking it, and crank it on these bluff walls and these kind of vertical banks, and hold on, because you're probably going to run into some fish and have a ton of fun, just like I get to do with this bait here. So, and that's what's cool is this bait works not only here in East Tennessee. It works on any Highland Reservoir style lake, Ozark style lake. I mean, any lake, deep, clear, full of rock, you know, bluffed out banks, stuff like that. You know, this bait is going to work. It works great around gravel. It works great around, you know, flat rolling points. I mean, this is a bait that it's not just a bait that works for me, works here. It works everywhere. And that's what's really cool is I started fishing this thing a couple years ago and had a ton of success with it when it came out. And a lot of people bought money badgers and continue to buy money badgers because of me, which is, number one, thank you. That's really cool. But number two, a lot of people started buying them and started sending me messages of big fish that they were catching in all kinds of different situations with the money badger. And, you know, I tell people, just give it a shot. Crank a crankbait, especially this time of year, late fall, winter, throughout the spring. I mean, this is just going to be a bait that you're going to be able to get a ton of bites on, have a ton of fun. And I mean, you guys see the kind of success I have with it on vastly different styles of lakes. And that's another cool thing about where I live is we got lakes like this that are straight up and down, very riverine, just river channel style lakes. We've got big Highland reservoirs that have all kinds of different rock and different bank and gravel and sand. And then we've got lakes with grass and stuff in them as well. And this thing has worked in all of those situations. But yeah, back to the original point. When the leaves sink, pick up a crankbait. A little bit better one. That's a little bit better one. Let's see. So 14 3/4, we'll call that one. So that's another 14 and 3/4 on the crank. So that's 14 and 3/4 and a 13 and 3/4. Not a giant limit, but a limit nonetheless on the badger. Man, I'm just wondering. I don't know what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I want to do. Huh. Jeez. All right, so I got about 30-ish minutes before we need to leave. So I'm gonna pick up this little jig right here, and we're gonna go in this pocket, and we're gonna see if these fish want to eat this little jig right here, and we will find out whether they do or they don't. We'll back up to the back up. You know how it is. You get out here and you you start saying, I'm not going to fish that tournament, then hell, you end up here at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning and you're fishing it just because you think you can do it. You know what I mean? It's a little lake near my house called, oh, just one second. Called, and, come here, you will. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a fun little lake. Hold on just one second. There you go, guys. A little smallmouth there. All right. Well, there's a bite. Wasn't a big one, but it's a bite. It's a limit too. So you catch like mid 50 inches, like 52, 53 inches, and I mean, hell, you got the thing won. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, there's another one. Oh, just one second, Jamie. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm catching fish now. Yeah, dude. This place is freaking loaded with them, man. I mean, loaded with muskies. So there's some big ones up here too. The biggest one I ever caught out here was 51 inches. Okay, guys. Well, I just tied on another jig because I actually broke that one off in a tree because I'm an idiot. But just a little bitty finesse jig. I use several different ones. This is that little kayak jig. But there's a couple different brands that make these like little, I consider them like micro finesse jigs. And that's exactly what this is, like a little micro finesse jig. Pairing that up with a chigger crawl in that orange color on the back. And then this is a 7.6 Fanatista. I always call them Fantasia, like a freaking Disney movie. Fanatista X. It's the medium heavy fast, but the thing about this rod is it is not fast action. To me, it's more moderate. It actually bends quite far down into the blank, and I pair this thing up with like 12 pound. I think I got 12 pound on here right now, so really light line because this rod does bend really well, and helps to it's just super finessey, really small profile. The jig's really small profile. I mean, as you guys can see too, the fish absolutely freaking love this little jig. And then that's a little Xenon MGX right there. You don't need this reel. I just love this setup. You notice I'm running MGX on my cranking stick and this little jig. And it's just because they're light. They're light, they're sensitive. You can feel a bunch of different things when you're tossing this jig around. And these fish like it. And so, yeah, that's 2 bites. Actually 3 bites. So a smallmouth, a largemouth, another pretty good size largemouth. And yeah, I think I'm going to fish this tournament. I really do. I think I've seen enough. I'm just going to have to go home and do some, I have to re-rig my kayak essentially. Everything's good. Like, you know, my steering's still there. I use a new steering yoke that Jamie from Dugout Bait and Tackle actually came up with on my motor. And so I don't use the traditional steering yoke. So what I have to do is take the one that Jamie designed off, put that little bar that helps to get my motor up on there so that we can run our motor. And then as far as the hole in the kayak and the seat, I mean, I fished in it the other day, fished essentially all day on the river with it broke. And all it does is just like move, like literally it's like being in a rocking chair. It just rocks back and forth. And so I'll just have to deal with that tomorrow, which if it breaks more than it's already broke, why does it matter? My new kayak's already here. It's already been warranted. Hobie took care of that. So yeah, I like it. I like it, ladies and gentlemen. This is fun. I love doing stuff like this. I love coming out here, figure out a little bite, catch some fish. This is my favorite time of year to go fishing. Late fall, winter, crankbaits, jigs. And if you don't like this, you don't like fishing. I don't want to break it any more than it's broke, but it's already broke. But I'm kind of scared. Oh, 1 second. That's a little bit better. Lord of mercy, ladies and gentlemen. These damn fish gonna make me come out here and fish this thing, eating this damn jig. That's the best one of the day so far on that jig too. I was just on the phone with Jamie Koza from Dugout Bait and Tackle. And now Bethany's on the phone with me. I love how as soon as I get on the phone, these damn fish will start eating. Let's see how long this one is. There's a lot of fish in this here pocket. That one is a 15 incher. So that's a 14 3/4, a 15, and a 14. Damn it, man, damn it. What do we do? and my kayak's broke. I don't know, I was just saying to Bethany, I don't know how much pressure I want to put on my kayak because it's broke, but it's broke. And my new kayak is sitting at Dugout Bait and Tackle. That's why Jamie was calling me to tell me that my new kayak's there and that I need to come down there and get it rigged. And so my only thought process is, though, what if I go ahead and rip the hole all the way through the kayak and then I can't even sit in my kayak tomorrow? So I don't know what I want to do. What should I do, honey? You tell me. You're the smart one in the family, not me. Bethany says the responsible thing to do is probably not fish it. But when have I ever been responsible other than when the bills need to be paid? Never. Never. So I don't know. We're gonna keep fishing here for just a minute. We're gonna think about it. There's another one. Okay, so they want a crankbait, they want a jig. These fish in this pocket have been the bigger than average ones on the jig. And it's 3:30, so we're done. And we had fun today. We caught some fish, we figured out a pattern. I think that we are definitely probably going to come fish this kayak tournament. We're just going to have to go home and we're going to have to essentially re-rig a kayak and prep it for tomorrow. Not re-rig, we just got to take some things off some things, put some things on some other things. So re-rig. We got to re-rig a kayak when we get home. But yeah, today was fun. I'm glad you guys watched this video. Thanks for clicking on it. Thanks for taking some time to hang out with me. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate every single day that I get to get up and go fish for a living, and I've got the coolest job in the whole entire world, and it's because you guys allow me to do that. And so, yeah, as always, you guys are sweet, and we will see you later.